Hello everyone, this is I am Mukhtar, the founder of Global Opportunities Real Estate. Today is a special day. Today is a unique day. As many of you has been following us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, we are very much focused on our people, our team, and our in-house employees. Last week, I revealed and discovered a new talent in my office. I was under the impression that my senior graphic designer is someone who has great skills, but only limited to graphic design. What I mean by graphic design, I mean designing posts, editing photos, doing some sort of edits on videos, helping me with banners and other things that are primarily design related. But last week I saw something on his LinkedIn profile where he shared a childhood passion. He shared a great story that he is a painter, someone who paints very professionally. Today, I am bringing my in-house employee, my first hiring at the Go Group, Mr. Brian Tomo from Uganda. How are you doing today?
Very good. I'm all right.
Thank you for coming. I believe today is your birthday with Go because we are sharing something very touchy to your childhood, and it became one of your primary passion towards both your personal and hopefully your expansion in your career. Please share the story of you being a painter.
Thank you so much. My name is Brian, just like he has mentioned. I've been a painter. I'm actually a professional artist. But, because we are looking for a living, we tend to maybe focus on other things and we forget what we actually were rooted in from the beginning. So I've been painting since childhood. I remember when I was, I think something like 8, 9, I was, sketching, making a few sketches of my parents, like drawing a face of my father, drawing a face of my mother with a pencil. And, these are things that remind me of, those days. And because I loved it with passion, when I went to school, I was lucky that it was also being taught in school. And, I really gave all myself in it. And like that, I grew up with art. I grew up painting and drawing, and I'm actually a sculptor as well. I mold. I can also do woven fabrics, like, making sweaters,
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah, weaving them with, there is something that we used to create. It's like a comb. We actually called it a comb, but it's like, it's like a comb. It's wooden, and it was actually one of the tools that we're using in back then at school. So we could use it to make sweaters and all that stuff, woven fabrics. So actually I'm multi-talented, apart from the graphics that you see on a daily basis.
In your journey in the UAE and Dubai, have you seen any sort of extra time that can bring this passion back to life, or it was always reminding you of your childhood at your home country, Uganda?
Well, because we are always rooted in a 9 to 6 job, we tend not to have time because it's just not 9 to 6. There is some few hours that are before you start your duty,
yes,
and a few hours before you get home. So when you combine it all, by the time you're at home, you do not have time. You're already exhausted. So because I was involved in that kind of work, I tended not to do art anymore since 2020. Actually, the last piece that I did was in 2020 in COVID time,
where we were all locked home.
Yes, I had the time, right?
Yeah.
But when I traveled and came to Dubai, because by then I was in Bahrain, when I traveled and came to Dubai, I got involved with work, and then I forgot about art, forgot about painting.
Okay. So you mean to say your last painting was during COVID?
It was absolutely during COVID.
And what made you bring this passion back to life when you did this post on LinkedIn?
All right, so I've been having so many friends that know about my art because we actually were painting together. So many of my friends are also artists. And time to time, I've been seeing them, pursuing their passion, doing it. And I've always been inspired. And they've always been getting back to me and asking me, why did you stop? Why did you stop? Because they knew me as a very good artist. Actually, I don't want to blow my trumpet, but I was actually better than most of them. So they were they were looking up to me and asking me, how can we do this, how can we do that, and then boom, they see me stop doing the art. So they kept on getting back to me, and it's like it was haunting me. Like, I don't know whether I'm using the right word, but it's like it kept on following me.
Yes.
Yeah, so with time, I was like, you know what? I think I should really go back to it. If graphic design is, doing something good to me, it means also art can as well do good to me.
Yeah.
So of recent, I was, scrolling through social media and on TikTok, I found a guy. He's from Cameroon. This is somebody I've never met before, but he was painting on live. So I got interested and I'm like, you know what? Let me liaise with this guy and get to know his side of view about art.
Yeah.
And lucky enough, the guy is actually in Dubai, and that was like an inspiration. I was like, okay, so if he is in Dubai and he's doing this, then it means I can also do it.
100%.
I just have to, delegate some time and, immerse myself into it.
Yep.
So that's how I now started to do it.
And when you found this guy, did you form any sort of communication so you can share your passion, your work, and hopefully he can seize an opportunity, a common synergy, a collaboration between the both of you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the time that I actually talked with him on live, that was too shallow for a conversation, but lucky enough, he shared his contact details.
Perfect.
And we started talking. So I realized he's actually so good at his work. I felt like since I've not been doing it for a while, I feel like I've been set back. So I need to get back to the map. So I had to, to really consult from him a few things here and there because, I feel like I've been left back in time.
Yes.
So we had a conversation here and there, and he told me it's really possible. You can do it. Right now we haven't met in person. We've just been talking over phone and Zoom meetings. But he said once he gets time, we're gonna, meet and probably we could do up something, like you've said.
That's gonna be something really good that will be a game changer in your career and also an expansion into your list of skills.
Yes.
Now, moving to the day where you decide to say, let me get back to the old version of me, and you decide to make a new painting. How were your feelings at that night when you start remembering things from childhood and you start to putting it in a piece of art? Did you get goosebumps within yourself? Because I'm sure when someone is like,
I actually got the goosebumps when I saw my painting coming out.
yeah,
The moment I just purchased those brushes and the paints, I was like, okay, now it's coming to reality. Like, yeah, I'm getting into painting again,
yes,
So the moment I held that brush, I was like, will I really do it? Because I felt like it's not in me anymore. But the moment I saw the artwork coming out, then I started getting the goosebumps. I'm like, okay, I'm still an artist.
I am good at what I do.
Yeah. I was like, I'm still an artist, and I kept on pushing it until I made it to perfection. I still feel it's not that perfect because of the years that I've lost. I feel it would be much, much, much better than this if I was painting throughout.
Okay. If we will have two persona of Brian Tomo, one graphic design and two artist and painter, which one gives you more goosebumps?
Well, I mean, the one that is an artist would give me more goosebumps. Why? Because I do believe deep in me that art is, it's a perspective that I don't know which words I can actually use, but it's something that you as an artist feel like there's a certain level of observation that you have that other people do not have. Like there are things I feel like I see that other people do not see.
Yeah.
And that brings in the creativity. Because we may all be put in one place, given one setup and told, you know what, this is a basket of fruits, please draw it or paint it. But the way I'm looking at these fruits is not going to be the same way that you'll be looking at the fruits.
True.
I'm seeing an oval shape of, let's say, a tomato. It's exactly what I'm going to draw or paint. But you might alternatively try to do the same and it comes out as something like almost irregular shape. So what am I trying to say here is that we as artists, we tend to see things in a different perspective. So I would really rate my being an artist, a painter particularly, as more compared to graphics, because graphics anybody can do since it's computer.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can drag a tool, draw a shape. Well, it also deserves some creativity, but again, being an artist
gives you more.
Yes, gives me more.
And you believe being an artist since your childhood added lots of values in your level of creativity as a graphic design, and that's why you stand out.
Yes. Yeah, because I have the that visual aspect of things. I tend to see things in a creative way. It puts me on another level when it comes to graphic design.
Yep.
Anyone can do graphic design as long as they have studied the tools. They've learned how to maneuver through the tools. But again, do you have that aspect of creativity?
Yep.
So it's that creativity that I borrow from art and apply in graphic design.
Speaking of art and bringing back your vision and passion to life, your recent drawing that I saw on LinkedIn, let us show it to the people and what you have drawn that brings the old Brian back to life.
Well, so this is the art piece that I just made. In a period of a week. I painted it in a period of a week, but this is a painting that I made. This is the painting that I actually made after a period of 6 years. I never painted in six solid years. That was from 2020 to 2026.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah. I actually thought I had forgotten how to paint, but you can see that this is a serious masterpiece.
Compared to your level of painting back in the day versus today and your painting, how much would you rate this one?
I would. You mean like comparing this to the paintings that I made in?
When you were at your prime?
I can compare the very last piece. Unfortunately, I lost my hard drive that had most of my, photos that I had taken of the artworks. But the very last art piece that I made, it was a super masterpiece. It's not even close to this.
Wow.
So I can say that I can give this probably a 7 as compared to the other one. The other one I can give it probably 8.5.
And when you say 8.5, that means that you still have a room for more improvement and more creativity, even though you call it a masterpiece.
Yes.
That's very impressive.
Because I do feel with art, we always learn. Every other time we learn. Mm-hmm. We do not prevent ourselves from having, room of not learning. Like we want to keep on learning.
Yep.
Every time I interact with artists, I get to learn new things. Even from people who are not artists, somebody can say, oh, you know, if you had done this, then it clicks in my mind. It's like, yeah, but actually this person is not an artist, but I've learned something from them. So we as artists, I do encourage you guys to, you know, take critique as something, as a point of learning.
Yep.
Some people do not want to be critiqued, but critique is actually amazing because it sets you at a pace of, you know, learning and getting to know that you do not know much. You're still learning, you're still increasing on yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
So, as you may of you have seen, today we have revealed a new talent inside our office, thanks to LinkedIn. And you know, the day that where I saw his post revealing this great painting. So I would say let's take advantage for those who invested with Global Opportunities Real Estate and bought homes with us at your handover. And whenever you want to furnish your property, don't go for shopping art. Call Brian Tomo, sit down with him, 2 hours meeting, and he will give you every masterpiece in every corner, in every room at your home. Stay tuned for more. We're coming to more. Cheers.